Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Frank Hawks. We are currently in the internet, and we are going to talk today a little bit about my first impression, though, mind you, I have not gotten one in hand yet. The waiting list for the Jet Blaster CEDA close engagement Dart Assault Blaster, I believe is what CEDA stands for, which kind of confuses me. If it's Close Engagement Dart Assault Blaster, shouldn't it be CDAB? But anyways, that's a minor bitch. It really is. It's really hard to come up with acronyms, and I don't really like to poke fun of people for it, but seriously, that could have been better done, I think. Hardly close engagement. The very first thing that I hear people bitch about with this blaster is that it only has a dart firing range of 60 to 80 feet per second. So I don't have a chronograph, and I've never seen it chronographed. But I would imagine that my hammer shot, were it repaired, assembled, and upgraded in the proper way. Now, mind you, I took out the air restrictor, I lubricated the plunger tube and the plunger. I did shave off a little bit from the trigger to make sure that I had a little bit of a snappier trigger. But I did not remove the pegs from the chambers correctly, and what ended up happening is it shredded the O-ring that connected the chambers where the darts go to the plunger tube, and so now my hammer shot is pretty much wrecked. I'm willing to bet you, though, that a hammer shot, not stock, modified in that same manner, without a shredded O-ring, would be able to fire in and about around that range, in and about around 60 to 70 FPS. What does that mean? That means that you could fire quite some distance fairly accurately with minimal difficulty without even really needing to replace the spring. Just stretch it every now and then, and have no problems with that. If this has the same damned range, then what does it fucking matter? What it is designed for is a starting platform for either new nerfers to learn how to modify things like this, or for experienced nerfers to modify a platform like this. Now, as you can see clearly, there is a long, full Picatinny rail. There is a buffer tube style stock, though I hear a lot of complaints about this. It's a teensy bit wobbly, and it being a teensy bit wobbly is enough to bitch. If you are putting your stock into your shoulder the way you should, which means really placing it into that place between your actual shoulder and your throat, on or underneath the collarbone, then you're doing it right with enough pressure to hold it there. Because really, whenever you're firing a real firearm that has a stock like that, the intention is to drive the stock into your shoulder to create that firm third point of contact, thusly giving you a greater balance, greater degrees of accuracy, and the ability to fire larger rounds of ammunition. That is the point behind a stock. You have a hand closer to the front of the weapon or tucked up under here. You have a hand here, and you have this stock driven into your shoulder as to create stability. If it has a little bit of wobble, that's not that big of a deal. But moving on. It has, of course, a sling point that would do well for a single point or a double point sling. It has an upper receiver and a lower receiver. The lower receiver, depending on whether or not you unscrew these thumb screws, holds the plunger tube, the plunger, the spring, the catch, and the bolt system. And the upper receiver holds the barrel. It is intended to be held together with these two pegs. Once removed, you can easily get at and remove all of the parts. You don't have to clamshell or unscrew all these screws to get to the inside of the CEDA to be able to change things. Really, the only time you should need to do that is when you're either maintaining, certain parts that are really buried in here, like the catch is back here, and you have to unscrew the lower receiver to get to the catch spring, and all of that. Now, the catch spring is, as far as I have been able to tell, because I haven't held one in my hand yet, the catch spring are stout. They really are. And and we'll get to talking about this a little bit further down. The plunger has an omnidirectional catch, so that's cool. It doesn't matter if it twists or anything like that. And it basically, the internals are a lot like a retaliator, just better. Bigger plunger tube, bigger plunger, better spring, in between 60 to 80 feet per second. And it has an Omni kit in it. And the Omni kit is intended to either fire full-length darts or half-length darts, which is cool, right? Well, there are problems. There are problems. So let's get to talking about that. And honestly, we're going to start from the bottom of the screen. We're not going to talk about the price or anything just yet. I don't really know enough to talk about the Alpha RT or the Omega RT kits. I know one is intended for better performance and the other is intended for longevity, or is it the other way around? I'm not really going to play the videos. There's no real point to do so. So, M4 style buffer tube, which we just talked about. Anything that would fit on an M4 as far as a stock is concerned will fit on here. Okay. Picatinny rails. Full-length Picatinny rails on top of the half-length side rails. I don't see any side rails. Allows for the use of optics and other attachments. Me personally, I would put a front sight, a rear sight, and a flashlight. That's it. Why a flashlight? Because this is a tactical Nerf tool. Okay, I wouldn't put a laser on it. I would put a flashlight on it, one that hangs off the side. So, you know, if you're doing darkly lit missions, you have something to light the way. Versatile, which is absolutely 100% correct. The bolt, the plunger tube, the plunger, the spring, the upper and lower receiver are awesome. I have gripes, though, and I do want to get a hold of one of these physically so that we can do a in-reality video. Here I'm showing it in front of your face. Here are the problems with it, and here's what's cool about it. But we're not there yet. I can't afford it. Okay, and you're going to find out why, and you're going to hear me bitch about it. Yeah, you can replace all of the internals. Problem. If you do not use Jet Blaster specific material in your CEDA, then it could void your warranty. I have a problem with that. If you have built from the ground up a platform that is intended to be modified by the people who purchase it, who gives a fuck whether or not they use your specific products? If you do it that way, then most people aren't going to reach for your product. They're going to reach for a prophecy or something else that is out there that will allow them to do things the way they want to do it. And you saying, no, you must use our products only, is no bueno. Get over it. Okay? Enhanced plunger tube. What do they mean by this? The plunger tube is enormous. Okay? there is the potentiality of a lot of power coming out of this baby. Oh, yeah. The front face of the plunger tube is larger than a silver dollar. Okay, it's larger than a silver dollar pancake. It is a stout device. The one thing that I can say from all of the videos that I have watched on this, because the second I heard about this, I was like, what? I need to know as much about this as I possibly can. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed. I really am. Let's continue. Easy to assemble. That is the absolute God's honest truth. From the moment you pull it out of the package, you can completely assemble it, load it with darts, and shoot it, no problem. I wouldn't do that personally. Okay. Let's start talking about some of the problems, shall we, before we get to the price. I will hunt some of these videos down and I will link them in this video. But what it comes with to start is what is referred to as the Omni Kit. And the Omni Kit is intended to be able to fire full-length darts and half-length darts. Why do I have a problem with this? Because in every video where they demonstrate that very fact, full-length darts fire no problem. They come out of the barrel and they hit the target and they hit hard. You can hear it in the videos. Then they switch to their Katana magazine kit and they load it up and they start shooting it. And about a third of the half-length or Stefan-style darts come out of the barrel and hit the ground. An old adage, you cannot serve two masters. What there should have been is a CEDA Model 1. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words like crazy. I don't mean to be. A CEDA Model 1, intended for full-length darts. And a CEDA Model 2, intended specifically for Katana magazines and half-length darts. Okay? The other thing that you guys are absolutely going to love about this this platform, is that it is an adult size. The one thing I keep hearing over and over again from everybody who's handled this, and the thing that makes me so eager to handle it, is the handle is comfortable in an adult's hand, but the stock, all the way extended, is too big for most people. That's a good sign. That this is a one-size-fits-all situation, which a buffer tube stock should be. Okay. Now let's go up to my problem. $69, not including either tax or shipping and handling, depending on where you are in the world. Now you have to understand, this product is made in Singapore. And because it is made in Singapore, they have to follow international safety rules as far as a Nerf gun is concerned. So let's talk about the pros and cons, okay? With that statement made. Pro, it is a CQB nerfing platform that is intended for you to mod the way you want it to be and fire it the way you want to. Con, the charging handle is, in my personal opinion, backwards. This hand stop should be back here. Okay? Everything else up here is perfect for where your thumb or index finger ought to go. Plenty of knurling for your hand. But this right here is in the front where it should not be. It should be back here. One of the primary complaints that I hear from everybody I've seen handle this is there's no hand stop back here. You have to put fingers up here to charge it better. That's poor design. Also, a complaint that I have This doesn't come with sights. It's intended for you to put sights on there, but it doesn't come with sights. That's a problem. It should come out of the box with its own sights that are removable from the Picatinny rail. Especially whenever you're talking about upwards of 80 or better FPS. Okay, I've seen people pull this thing out of the box and fire it at 80 to 90 FPS, and some of them 60 to 70 FPS and no better. Which means there's quality control problems. Mind you, this is a fairly new product, and anytime we have a new product, we're going to have problems. That's just the way it is. What do we do to fix that? We give feedback. We give lots of feedback. Personally, I cannot wait until I have one of these in my hand and can show in real life against my body, my 5'10", almost 200 pounds, partially fat, this thing in front of me. And until I do that, I will not be happy. It's going to be a while. It's going to be after the Carrack on Star Citizen comes up for sale before I am willing to purchase one of these. And honestly, I'd like the price to go down. So, Pro. It is a nerfing platform that from the ground up is intended for you to modify and to set it up the way that you want it to be. I would attribute this to being the Nerf equivalency of an AR-15. It is intended to be modified the way that you want it to. Con. It does not come with the proper accessories, and honestly, it needs a design review. So that's 2 cons. Okay? Pro. Out of the box, it is capable of firing full-length and half-length darts, no problem. Con. Excuse me. Frog. Throat. Nasty. Con. It only fires 2/3 of half-length darts well. Which honestly, considering most out-of-the-box Nerf stuff, that's not bad. Okay. Pro. It comes in a plethora of colors. Well, not a plethora. 2 colors. Just 2. Red and blue. Oy. Okay, so let's see what else. Pro. It is versatile. It will take whatever retaliator type internals you want. I've seen multiple people build brass breeches with this thing that are absolutely awesome, and I wish I had that same knowledge, but I don't. Con. The buttstock needs a little work. It needs a little finesse and love. It really does. Pro. The space between the buttstock where you might rest your cheek and the top of the blaster are perfectly in line for sights. Your chin will probably, or your cheek, depending, will probably rest about here when you hunker down on it, making this spacing just perfect for good use. Con. The buttstock seriously needs work, and I'm pretty sure I said that before. Now, finally, con, the price point is way off. If this is something intended for people to start off with and really learn how to mod, then it is way out of the price range of most parents and most young teenagers. The price point on this is off, way off, seriously off. And honestly, it needs work. I could name Well, no, I really can't. I can't name any product that would compete with this, save for maybe, and honestly, we have to hope that this will work because my browser has been a little bit of a pain in the ass lately. Right here, for about around 65 bucks before shipping and handling, or 54 bucks if you want the do-it-yourself kit. This right here, the JSPB Build and Battle Mini Hopper, at a price point of $54 to $65. This device fires full-length darts and half-length darts equally as accurately with no failures. This entire section from about here to this big tank here is your air pressure. And inside here, the venting for that pressure is in a circle, much in the same way as a scar barrel would be set up. So automatically, you have a twist on your dart, firing it so that it spins in the air as it goes, increasing its accuracy. I've seen Drac fire one of these at I would presume about around 100 feet fairly accurately with almost no problems. One double feed. That is a hopper issue, mind you. You can 3D print this. I don't even know if it costs money to 3D print it. I don't know if it's open source. I really don't. But this is a good option. That is a small option that also has, if I can find it, a plethora of other options available to it. This mega tank, which allows you to fire multiple darts and so without having to repump. Barrels of different kinds. This is meant to replace this area here, a stock. One of the coolest sights that I've ever seen that is meant to be able to see around a hopper so that you don't have to tilt it to the side. Other barrels, parts of various different kinds. This device comes with a lot of options. You can set it up the way that you want to, and you can buy it piece by piece over time. Anyways, guys, this is Captain Frank Hawks. I'm doing it backwards again. I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, have fun. Take care of each other. Be safe. This is Captain Frank Hawks, signing off.